The Second Life. Eleanor's life with Robert was a meticulously crafted museum of contentment. There was the pristine modern kitchen, the annual ski trips to Colorado, the quiet rhythm of their 30-year-old marriage. Robert was steady, a successful architect whose hands always smelled faintly of drafting paper and expensive soap. If Eleanor sometimes felt a chill in the air between them, she blamed the advancing years, the natural settling of passion into comfort. The chill became a seismic tremor on a dreary Tuesday in November. Robert was away on what he called a critical client visit in Seattle. Eleanor was balancing their checkbook, a ritual she still preferred to online banking, when a small, unfamiliar receipt fluttered from a stack of paid bills. It was from a small, regional medical practice in upstate New York, far from Seattle, far from everything. The address, handwritten in a rushed, familiar script, Robert's script, was what caught her breath. It wasn't the office address, but a residential one. Eleanor didn't confront him immediately. She was a woman who dealt in facts, not feelings. Over the next 2 weeks, while Robert planned his next trip, Eleanor planned hers. Using a burner phone and a carefully prepared itinerary, she followed his trail not to Seattle, but to a sleepy town nestled in the Catskills. The house was a cheerful, slightly worn farmhouse, the complete opposite of their minimalist city condo. There was a bicycle leaning against the porch and a swing set in the yard. Eleanor parked 3 streets away, her heart a frantic, trapped bird in her chest. She watched from her rental car until dusk. A car pulled into the driveway, and Robert stepped out. But he wasn't alone. A woman, perhaps 10 years younger than Eleanor, with warm, messy brown hair, stepped out from the passenger side, laughing. Then, the car door opened again, and a teenage boy, a miniature, gangly Robert, vaulted onto the driveway, tossing a football. Eleanor didn't need to see the affectionate kiss Robert placed on the woman's temple, or the way the boy called out, "Dad, catch," to understand. She saw the easy familiarity, the clutter, the life. This wasn't a mistress. This was a family. A complete, parallel universe he had built and maintained while she was busy polishing the museum of their marriage. That night, Eleanor checked into a desolate motel room, the truth a bitter, metallic taste in her mouth. She felt a bizarre mix of rage and academic curiosity. How? For how long? He hadn't been commuting to work. He had been commuting to a second existence. She drove back to the city the next morning, the evidence of her discovery. A blurry photo of the boy catching the football, the medical receipt, the sheer, crushing weight of betrayal, her only luggage. Robert returned on Friday, smelling of pine and expensive soap, just as always. He poured himself a whiskey and asked her about her week. Eleanor waited until they were sitting in the silent, immaculate living room. She placed the crumpled medical receipt and the photo of the laughing boy on the polished mahogany coffee table. Robert's hand, reaching for his glass, froze midair. The color drained from his face, leaving the freckles on his cheeks stark and visible.
Who are they, Robert?
Her name is Clara. He's Daniel. He's 13.
13 years. 13 years of meticulously planned lies, of phantom business trips, of 2 separate tax returns filed in 2 different states.
13 years ago, Eleanor repeated. That was the year I lost the baby.
The confession poured out of him. The loneliness after their loss, the professional pressure, the unexpected, simple comfort he found in a small-town meeting with Clara, a young client who needed a new home built. It was a story of a desperate man who chose to build a separate life rather than face the crumbling foundation of his first one. Eleanor stood up, crossing the room to the large picture window that overlooked the city skyline. She watched the lights twinkle, a million other lives being lived, messy and real.
I am not angry, Robert, she finally said, though the lie felt like gravel. I am simply erased. You didn't just cheat on me, you replaced me. You wrote a completely different story for yourself.
She turned back, her decision already made. The museum of their marriage was closed. She would take the necessary steps. Lawyers, accounts, property division. It would be clinical and clean, unlike the mess he had made.
I need you to leave, she said, pointing to the door of their beautiful empty home. And don't worry about Daniel, he's your responsibility now. I can't imagine him fitting in here, in a museum.
As Robert gathered a small bag, his head bowed, Eleanor looked at the photograph one last time. It was the only thing in her life that was truly real, and it wasn't even hers. Settings. Use appropriate media.